that one,
I
but
don't think
feel like
it got
great,
good reviews.
It didn't get great critical reviews. Some websites, like IGN gave it a really good score, and I think like most people, it was a love or a hate, much more than I think the overall Batman vs Superman was just a hate. It sounds like, which is crazy. But I think I would say Justice League is in the win column for DC. Like I think that there was no way that everyone was going to love it. Was it enough? Yeah.
Did it win enough?
I don't know.
Steel was like 5% on Rotten Tomatoes, pretty much right down the center.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty good for Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes is really harsh.
Now, is that still pretty bad? Is it a green?
It's a
thing?
green. It's a Rotten Tomato.
It's a Rotten Tomato.
But they're really Rotten Tomatoes. I think they are way more harsh than IMDb ever is, and IMDb is people vote on it. Like,
is Rotten Tomatoes a conglomerate score? Is it like gathering scores?
They take reviewers' reviews. Basically, it's I don't know what they conglomerate.
I don't know.
They have like top critics and they have regular critics,
Yeah.
and I don't know how they score them.
And all fucking critics are evil. So
They are totally evil.
All of
them. So I think it's a win. But to your point, why is it? I don't know if it's enough. I am worried that they're just going to nuke this. And like Ben Affleck's all like flip floppy. I'm like, is he going to continue to be Batman? Is he not going to be Batman? And I even like had a couple of moments. Like I am a huge Batfleck fan. There was a couple of moments in Justice League where I was like, do you really even want to be doing this anymore? And like I kind of felt that from him a couple scenes and stuff. Like I don't know. And if he leaves, how do you handle that? I mean, there's the comics would handle it in 100 different ways, but how would like a general audience understand that the baton's being passed to Dick Grayson if you bring in Dick Grayson? Or
I think you just get a new actor and pretend that it's the same person.
Yeah. Movies are so afraid to do that these days. Yeah, I agree. Just keep doing that. Okay, so that's it for our talk on Justice League. Let's stay in the realm of superhero team ups, and let's move on to the Avengers trailer, which dropped last week. So the Avengers Infinity War Part 1. It's a two-parter.
It's a two-parter, but they're separate stories, each with a beginning, middle, and end. That's something I read the other day too. Like this second one that's coming up is going to have a whole different like subtitle.
Okay, that's fair.
But I've heard. I mean, they've jumped on what they're doing. Granted, you're probably really right because they've filming. I think both almost at the same time, back to back.
And they're both going to have like Thanos stories and stuff too. But it's like.
But that you heard they were part 1, part 2. Then you heard they were going to be the same movie. Then then they said you thought they were going to be the same movie, but you heard that they were filming part 2, which confused everybody. So I don't know. I bet you it's going to be kind of a cutoff to be continued, kind of like similar to Empire Strikes Back. It did end. That movie did end, but it was definitely a loss on the winning team.
Yeah, and I wonder. So speaking of all that, like, how are these things going to end? I think Kevin Feige. I think I'm saying that name right. I'm not sure. He's like the head of the MCU. He came out and said that like there are going to be consequences in these ones that we haven't seen in any Marvel movie, and that's that can only mean one thing. That means death. That means people are going to die. And so, like, let's talk a little bit, like, what do we think that means before we even, like, get into the trailer? Well, let's talk about the trailer first. Let's go over the trailer. I mean, like, pretty standard stuff. I think what you'd expect, like, you get your classic Marvel team-up shot at the end, with Cap running through the forest with Black Panther. Mm-hmm. I think War Machine's in there, it looked like. The Hulk's in there.
Winter Soldier with his arm.
Winter Soldier with his arm, yep. So I mean, and Spider-Man is pretty well featured, I think, through the trailer and stuff. I mean, overall, I don't know if there's too much to break down. We could go through frame by frame, but a lot of people have done that at this point. I think it's actually, I think it's more interesting that we just talk about what we think is going to happen.
Yeah. The trailer was just kind of like, hey, gang's all here.
Yep.
Get excited.
Let's go. Get hyped.
Thanos is an angry Great.
And they can do a trailer, can't they? God.
Thanos looked a lot different, because we've seen Thanos.
Since the first Avengers.
Yeah, we've seen him before in extended credits, and you also see him in Guardians movies. Have his helmet on. He looked like he was going to the beach.
Yeah.
Did anybody know he's like
he didn't have his armor?
Top.
Yeah.
He had a tank top, and then like he just comes through a portal like he was expecting to go to the beach. He looked a lot different than what I was expecting.
Like one of those old like
tank top,
like 1920s bathing suits on sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, who dies? Like, and after like who dies? Like, how does the Marvel? What does Phase 2 of the Marvel universe look like?
Well, they do have cast for Infinity Wars. What's that woman's? Not one.
Miss Marvel.
Marvel's cast for the Infinity Wars movies.
Oh, yeah, it's
she's in it.
Brie Larson.
Yeah, so I don't think she's in the movie, but I think it's more of like you know, in Spider-Man, Mary Jane. You find out the character's Mary Jane. She's not very important in the movie, but she's in it. Same with like Felicia Hardy in the Garfield movie, the Garfield Spider-Man movies. You find out that Felicia Hardy was the secretary, so that was the Black Cat later on. I think they're going to do that with Miss Marvel. I think Stark dies. I'm pretty sure Captain dies.
I think all their contracts are like if you look into the business side of this, I think all their contracts.
That's what I'm looking
up,
at.
So.
Scarlett Johansson's not only is her contract up, she made it clear doesn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Stark, Captain, Scarlett Johansson, and Ruffalo's contract's up.
Jeez.
So I think he's going to be dead.
All the original ones, basically.
Yeah, basically all of those. I think all of them died.
They can't convince any of them to come back. I know Chris Evans.
I think out of those four, Stark is the only one that they would choose to, if they could pick of those four.
It's also the most expensive. Yeah. Man, is he the most expensive? But like, I wonder. Like, I'm sure those guys, whoever survives, that doesn't end up like being in the next movies. They'll be cameos for the rest of ever. You know, if they can be in it, they'll be in it or whatever.
Well, look about who wasn't in it. Ant-Man was not in this trailer.
You so sure?
He might have just been kind of tiny. I wasn't
really
close.
Ant-Man and Jeremy Renner. I didn't see either one of those two guys.
Hawkeye?
I think they're both in there.
I'm pretty sure they're not.
I saw Hawkeye.
I'm pretty sure I saw Ant-Man.
I don't think you see him.
I would love to pause this right now and go and look. That's not our style. We do not pause the recording.
I don't think because they're both in the prison.
Yeah.
So they're with everybody else. So they somehow get out of prison.
Yeah. That's a good point. Where did we last leave all of these main characters? It was at the end of Civil War, right?
Yeah, so the Black Panther, the Winter Soldier, Art, and Captain are in Wakanda right now.
Yeah.
With the secret Black Panther hideout. Everybody else is in Thor and the Hulk are floating in space with in front of Sanctuary.
Yep.
Guardians are on their ship. Ant-Man is in prison. Doctor Strange is in his little
badass
place in New York.
The Sanctum of Solace, I believe is what it's called.
And who am I missing? Anybody else? I think I got them all. Spider-Man's going to school.
Spider-Man's going to school.
Just going to school.
Going first period.
Yeah, he turned down Tony Stark and he's just going to school. I'm pretty sure that's...
I think that's it.
That's
most of them. And we're going to find out about Panther soon. Right. So Captain America dies. I'm with you on that.
100%.
He's totally
sacrifices himself.
I think Bucky takes over as Captain America. That actor takes over and is Captain America next. And I think that's how it's happened in the comics.
Yes, agreed. But can that? I know that you and I, Brogan. I love the Winter Soldier. I think that is the best person they have portrayed in the most
Yeah,
he is
maybe the best Marvel movie too.
Yeah,
like, that movie.
That's the Winter Soldier is my favorite of all Avenger movies. But I don't know if he can be the main actor of a movie where we mostly focus on him, like we did in Ultron, like we did in Avengers, I just don't picture the odd like everybody else getting on board with us. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. But like, here's something beautiful that Marvel's done at this point is that they've created enough trust with audiences that like we're getting characters like Ant-Man in a movie in his own movie. We're getting Doctor Strange in his own movie and stuff now, and like there's Panther. Like these are like B-level characters to the general. I mean, not for like comic book nerds. I mean, I'm sure I'd make somebody mad by saying that. Like for comic book fanatics, those are probably just as important as Captain America and Iron Man. But like the same way that they made us care about Iron Man. Remember, we didn't care about Iron Man before that movie came out. Like everyone kind of knew who Iron Man was probably, but like a general person did not care about it.
You knew about him because he teamed up with Spider-Man.
Yeah, and like people only really care that there's a Captain America. They don't really care that Captain America is Steve Rogers. I don't think it's not Bruce. Like Steve Rogers, Captain America is not bringing to Batman
or
Clark Kent. Like people feel weird if it was Dick Grayson as Batman, even though there's a precedent for that in the comics. I would argue that people wouldn't feel that weird about like a Bucky Rogers being, or is it Bucky Rogers?
No,
Bucky Barnes being Captain America. Like they're just like, oh, this is Captain America. He used to be the Winter Soldier. That's cool because they've taken the time to introduce us to both of those characters.
Yeah.
So that character means something to the audience, and the character of and the superhero Captain America, like that mantle, means something to people. And so if they plugged in a character that they've taken the time to teach out, then I think audiences would be cool with it. Mm-hmm. And I think that'd be interesting. Actually, that'd be a really cool way to go. Now, what about Thor? Do you think Thor makes it through this whole thing?
Yeah,
because there's a cool precedent in the comics right now where they're really gender bending in the comics right now. Like Thor, I'm not sure how it happened or what's going on, but Thor's a lady now. Thor has become a woman, or is either there's like a new goddess of thunder or something.
I think he just goes away, and I'm only saying this as if he dies, and maybe I'm thinking logical and nobody's gonna fuck, but it's like we gotta leave somebody to Asgard. And if he dies, nobody rules Asgard.
Maybe that's what he leaves. Like he doesn't die, but he's done because
he's
got
just
to
gone.
Go
he's got to be the king. You know? And
that's important. Like not everyone's gonna die, but like they're gonna have their story wrapped, and that'll be it. Yeah.
I feel like he'll at least make it through the first movie. Because I feel like the first movie is going to be like more Earth based, and the second movie is probably going to be like more intergalactic, like taking the fight.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Taking the fight to them.
Does anybody die in the first one?
Yes, yeah. I think it ends with a big death, like maybe Iron Man. Maybe no, because he's signed for a movie. I think. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I bet you could find that if you just like look to see if somebody signs like a movie or whatever.
Maybe you can kill.
Vision. It just looked like Vision's about to die in the trailer. I mean,
yeah, they take it from his head. You know, they're going to take that Infinity Stone from the head. So when he shows his gauntlet, there's only 2 of them on there, but there is also a scene where he's ripping it out from what's his name's head. So. You actually don't even see. You just see a scepter going down and pulling it out, and you're assuming it's him. Maybe it's Loki for all I know.
What's the deal with Loki in that trailer too? Like, was he looking all mischievous? Was he looking like a bad guy again? He was holding the Tesseract.
He has the Tesseract because he got it back from Asgard right before it exploded, which is why Sanctuary 2 goes up at the end of Thor Ragnarok because they know Loki has it. That's why Sanctuary. That's why at the very end. That ship just shows out of nowhere. That's Sanctuary 2, which is Thanos' ship. We're assuming Thanos' ship, and he's there because Loki's got it.
Gotcha. And here's what I think happens there. I think and this is just an assumption, that big ship that showed up at the end of Thor Ragnarok in front of Thor's ship, I think that just blows that ship up, and Thor is out there floating through space or something. That's how he gets on the ship. With the Guardian Galaxy that we saw in the trailer.
Yeah, which is why you saw at the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 the credits. Thor the front of the.
And the Hulk is on that ship too, right? And so the Hulk, when we see this trailer, is like in this big crater as Bruce Banner, and he's like Doctor Strange is looking down on top of him. Mm-hmm. I bet you Doctor Strange portal jumps him out of this like exploding ship or something.
Yeah, because they're in a different realm.
Yeah.
So and they don't have the sword, whatever thing that Idris Elba would use to teleport people around. So how do they get back to the Earth realm? And it's probably Doctor Strange. You probably nailed that. It's probably Doctor Strange brings them back to Earth.
And that's that's my call, and I think that'll maybe if they were going back to Earth to begin with, that's how Thanos gets there, finds them, or follows them, or whatever that looks like.
Well, I mean, these, if Loki goes to Earth, and the Soul Stone is shown in the Black Panther movie, that's the Soul Stone. Loki's there with the Tesseract, and then Vision. That's 3 Soul Stones or Infinity Stones on one planet. Yep. So it makes sense that he would go. Now he has to still get one from
the Collector has one.
The Collector has one, and so does. The Guardians of the Galaxy Core, they have one.
Wait, so get out for me real quick. Where are they? We know of.
So, and I don't remember which one's which, but Nova Corps has one. The Collector has one. Doctor Strange has one around his neck. The Tesseract, Vision. Wait,
no, that's 5, and then the last one we don't know about.
Is there 6? But I thought there's only 5.
There's 6.
There's 6?
Mm-hmm. Then the Soul Stone's the 6th one that we're missing. I thought there was only 5.
No, there's 6.
Okay. Yeah, I think it goes on each one of his knuckles, and there's one here.
Well, they only have 4
on
knuckles.
On the side. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Get all of the Infinity Stones. Does Thanos get all of his stones in this?
He's got to get them all. If they don't get them, they're going to do this Lord of the Rings bullshit where you're supposed to be hyped about a bad guy that never exists. I'm going to be pretty upset. because Thanos is, he's powerful as he is now.
Man,
but I want him to get it.
I'm just like, I'm sitting here, even just talking about this, I'm getting really excited for this. And I gotta be honest, like, as much of